I'm ready when you are. All rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to September 19th, 2024 regular scheduled council meeting. Tonight's a very exciting night. We have one presentation and one promotion happening. So with that, call to order. This meeting has been properly advertised and posted in accordance with Public Law 75, Chapter 231. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Petty.
Here.
Antonisi. Here. Clark. Here. Dash.
Here.
Galloway.
I am here.
Heist.
Present.
Patsy.
Here.
Timbers.
Change default.
Wright.
Here.
Richie.
Here. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from August 15th?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, anybody from the public have any comments on agenda items only? Going once, twice. All right, Mayor, the floor is yours for your first presentation.
Well, good evening, everyone. Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see everybody out tonight. Did I get it? Yes. It's special occasions we have going on. First and foremost, which has been a very long time coming, our Citizen of the Year award. Okay, so years ago, the Kiwanis Club used to have their annual Citizen of the Year award. And unfortunately, due to the lack of volunteers anymore, they couldn't do it anymore. So I have picked that up to do every year, and it's usually done in the fall. So this year's Citizen of the Year award goes to George Moron. Unfortunately, George could not be here tonight due to some health issues, but we do have some family members, and whoever would like to come up, please come up. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll make it.
So I first met George when I left the city council in 2006. And I worked very closely with him on a lot of projects. I don't know a man that has, worked as hard as he has for so long for the citizens of Egg Harbor. Some things that I remember are, he used to do the cleanups all the time. He always cleaned up the T-Rex. That's been passed along to somebody else in his room. And he also, his life's passion was to renovate the Buffalo Avenue playground, which looked the same since I was in kindergarten and everything. And finally, one year we were able to do it, and we now have the Kaboom playground. That is because George was the driving force on that. It was a wonderful community effort. We did a lot of fundraising, we did a lot of meetings, and now it is officially known as the George Moron Memorial Playground. So also, he was very involved in Kiwanis. He started the Kiwanis Club or T-Rex Club in the junior T-Rex at Cedar Creek High School. Is that what they're called? Yeah. I'm sorry, it's been a while. So lots of good stuff. He was always involved in his school. He was always at the Sprite School, doing stuff with the kids. It was just a wonderful school board, and I have all that on here. So I just say a couple of things that I personally remember about George. So with that, I'm going to read the proclamation. Can everybody hear me okay? Because I can get but I'd rather not. Whereas George Moron and his wife Mary Lou settled in Egg Harbor City, where they raised 5 children: George, James, Frank, William, and Lori. Whereas throughout his entire life, George was committed to serving his family, community, and county. He is a veteran of the Korean War and a former member of the following organizations: Egg Harbor City Board of Education, Egg Harbor City Zoning Board, Boy Scouts of America, Kiwanis as the president, EREC also as the president, And moreover, he was the founder of the Cedar Creek Key Club and of the BUG Bug Bring Up Grades program at the Charles L. Sprague Elementary School. Whereas George has always worked hard to maintain and improve recreation
Well, you can.
in Hooper City. Under his leadership, the
Well, we-
organization.
Enjoy taking care of whatever it is we do.
Memorial Playground was built and many improvements were made to the memorial field. Whereas in addition, George faithfully participated in many citywide events, including the Dare Olympics, the annual citywide cleanup, parades, and various other celebrations. Whereas throughout his tenure as Kiwanis president, George was not eligible to be fully recognized and honored for his many accomplishments and years of service to his community. As such, the residents, city council, and I would like to do so. Now therefore be it resolved, that I, Dr. Lisa Gimpetti, Mayor of Egg Harbor City, name George Moron, Egg Harbor City's 2024 Citizen of the Year, and proclaim this day, September 19th, George Moron Day in Egg Harbor City.
I got all the stuff that needs to get done.
And before we go, please sit down. I think we have to recognize the woman behind the man. Right here, so. it's Mary that all-
I just, I can't really.
Members of T-Rex. George had picked all of them. Nobody ever left. They're all still there. And they're doing a fantastic job. They should all be recognized.
And I'm gonna ask Christine and Gary to come up.
Gary.
They would like to say. Gary has enough words for everybody. Come on up, Gary. Come on, Gary. We always
I don't need a microphone. I just wanted to read a letter here that was written to George, and this will say everything in the letter, you know, what George is all about. I wanted to let you know how thankful I am for you allowing me into your world of giving and community involvement. You have shown me how to give back and to get involved in the common good of our community. Although I should do more, I know without you, I probably would have done less. When I was younger, I really did not see or appreciate what it means to become civic, to be involved and help and donate time and effort to a cause is truly a generous trait that you have taught me. I watched from a distance how organized and conscientious you were. You made sure that things we were doing were so important and a priority. You put the community ahead of yourself. This unselfishness is God-given, and you exemplify this profoundly. As I get older and see the impact you have had and feel the gratefulness of having been a part of your foresight and civic pride, I need to let you know how important you have been to kids of Egg Harbor, my kids, my family, and me.
Oh.
Sometimes it is not how much you give, but how you give it and how much you care. You truly are an inspiration to me for all that you have done and the way that you have done it. I wish we could do more to let the city of Egg Harbor know what a giant you were in the recreational, educational, and community. You were the key in Key Rec. So I'd like to say that was written by Dan McGinnis, who's on the board of Key Rec, and he wrote that to George. So so today, we, the community and Key Rec members, congratulate you, George, on being the Citizen of the Year 2024, and we are truly thank and appreciate you for all that you have done and for the youth of Egg Harbor City. You know, like I said, I was involved in all of the P-REC members are all here standing in the back. Involved in so many projects that P-REC over the years.
I need to
For the
go.
20 years, George was our president, and basically, he would come up with the projects, he'd lead us into the jobs that we had to do. And he was instrumental in what you see there today. That's why the playground was dedicated in his name. We had fence projects, we put roofs on the Babe Ruth dugouts. We put roofs, new construction over the Little League field. Redid the building, major sewer projects. So George's biggest accomplishment was the playground. And he was so proud of that playground, and when we got it done, he just was thrilled to death about that, and that's why we had a dedication for George and dedicate the playground in his name. So I just like to say thanks to the Mooroff family, and thank you, George. God bless you.
I should just.
The next event we have is a promotion, and that is for Zach, or Lieutenant Zach Turner, who's now Captain Zach Turner. We have the flag.
This is there.
Yeah. We don't have the flag.
Oh, there.
Okay, probably the most important thing to do is get this paperwork and just take my time. Wax the car following week.
I state your name,
I, Zachary Carnell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of
and the Constitution of
the State of New Jersey,
the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and the governments established
and the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
the office of
the office of
Next weekend.
police captain
a Carver City Police Captain
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
So, I'm captain.
This will be good.
Police department, work alongside our chief, and I know that the chief's gonna want.
After dinner, I'll do laundry.
This is Zach's favorite part. I'm gonna keep it short because I know you would love to be up here. It has been amazing. It has been an amazing journey over the last 16 years. We started the academy together. And I feel honored to have worked beside Zach for this entire time. He's an asset to the community. Being not only in the volunteer fire department, for longer than he's been a police officer, but also being an integral part of the police department. He really is the strong, silent backbone of the department. As a crisis negotiator, as an arson investigator, and as the unsung hero, I would just like to take this time to thank Zach for all these years of service and to congratulate him on a very, very well served election.
Done.
I just want to, thank the mayor, thank the chief, thank all council, thank all my family and friends, and coworkers for, believe in me and all the, support.
I'll get back into myself.
I'm gonna try to make it through. This is something that hits home.
Don't go to that.
So on August 26th, the Egg Harbor City Police Department was.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, get them all here.
Bonville.
Carl Marmolo,
On August 26th, the Egg Harbor City Police Department was notified that an armed robbery suspect was en route from Atlantic City via the train station to Egg Harbor City. Chief Allen, Captain Zach Perna, Officer Darrell Bonville, and Brian McKenna entered the train and took the man into custody. The man was in possession of a loaded handgun and was placed under arrest. Now, I may have not gotten all those details that the news release said, so you can fill me in on that, but let's think about what happened. These guys went on a train. Could have died. They could have got shot. But they went in and did the job. Guys do, so, chief. I can speak to that story before.
I have to say, I was just peripheral, I was outside of the train, these guys really did, handle a situation that have potentially been devastating for both, the people on the train and the city of Egg Harbor and for themselves, and did their jobs really, really amazingly, and fortunately, we were able to, Bonville and Perna specifically were able to subdue the subject, without any harm to him, anybody on the train, or themselves. So it's really commendable. And then to have it all pawned off on us by Atlantic City and Transit Police, even though it was not really our issue, we still handled it, because we need to do what we need to protect citizens of Egg Harbor City, so.
So with that, I have a certificate of recognition for bravery and leadership presented to each one versus Chief Allen for extracting an armed criminal from the train on August 26, 2024 at the Egg Harbor City train station. Thank you. Captain Zachary Perna, certificate of recognition for bravery and leadership, same. Extracting an armed criminal from the train on August 26, 2024 at the Egg Harbor City. Officer Bonville. For certificate of recognition for bravery presented to Officer Darrell Bonville for extracting of an armed criminal from the train on August 26, 2024 at the Egg Harbor City train station. Hannah, who's a frequent flyer with the horse. Certificate of recognition for bravery presented to Officer Brian McKenna for extracting an armed criminal from the train on August 26, 2024 at the Egg Harbor City train station. Thank you. Oh, and I was, the chief had requested that she read her report after this, so she could go and.
You can forego your report, go out and enjoy it.
Good to go. You got it. Okay.
I turned it on. No, they're all on. I turned them on.
I mean, I can get
Thank you.
All right, I anticipate that we're gonna be dealing with a bit of noise for a little bit, so I'll speak loudly if that's okay with you. Yeah. So I'm not gonna read off the typical numbers and everything like that, but I do want to address one thing that has been reoccurring here in the city regarding Harbor Fields. We've had a few incidents at Harbor Fields. One incident was a riot situation where there was a resident or an inmate that was injured because he was throwing furniture. Our officers and officers in Wallaca Township, Hamilton Township, and Galloway Township did have to respond. Some officers did go into the building and help quash the riot. Then we had another incident following with a barricaded subject where they were holding a guard hostage. This has been a continuing issue with the Juvenile Justice Commission not properly staffing Harbor Fields, and it's creating an issue. I have had multiple meetings with the sheriff's department, whose purview it actually is. It is county run building, or county owned building, which is run by the JJC, the Juvenile Justice Commission. With the Atlanta County Prosecutor's Office, the Sheriff's Department, the county executive, Mayor Giambetti has written letters to the county executive and the county administration, expressing dismay over what is going on there. In my estimation, it's only a matter of time before there is an escape if things continue that way. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we are actively working on finding a solution. I know that the director of the public safety director from the county, Fedorko, has been meeting with the county architect to see if there is a way to have an annex on the ACJF, the Atlanta County Justice Facility. It's just in its infancy. I have expressed very emphatically that I think that most of council would not be in favor of expanding Harbor Fields, considering it is in a residential area. It has been a tax on us as a police department because it is in our jurisdiction, but I just wanted to make everybody aware of what's going on. There is a mandatory meeting that the prosecutor has called for all of the police chiefs in the county to go to on Monday, because there have been issues with, and this is throughout the state, not accepting juveniles in various places. They don't have the staffing to accept the juveniles. So it's at the point where if a juvenile is placed on a warrant, and it takes a lot for a juvenile to be placed on a warrant, there's no place to put them. So I just wanted to make council aware that that's what's going on behind the scenes, that we are actively looking at it, and trying to address the situation as best as we can. I have, I'm in constant contact with the county prosecutor, with the sheriff's department. And then we do have the support of our neighboring jurisdictions in the event that something does happen. We're planning, I did speak to Chief O'Donoghue from the sheriff department. He is the chief sworn law enforcement officer there. We are going to be doing an exercise just to go over and make sure that we are all fully prepared in the event of an escape. So that will be upcoming, but I just wanted to make everybody aware of that because you know, it's right in our backyard, it's an issue, and we are addressing it, so. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Have a good night, folks.
Yep, enjoy your night. All right, moving on. Mary, your report?
Yes, a while back, Laura Shaw, our tax collector, had sent me a contact for Santander Bank to see if they were interested in possibly the Ocean First Bank. I reached out to the gentleman and unfortunately, they are not building any banks or opening any banks. And I'm sure you guys watch the news, you see that's a trend all over the state of New Jersey and other states, no banks. So unfortunately, nothing there. Jonathan Satcher, the tower site project is going along well. He did send some pictures of some architectural designs that he had, which are very impressive. I believe Ryan and I, if you saw that email, we're gonna meet with them next week to get some discussion with the DEP and a few others to try to get a grant to clean up the landfill for him. That would be very helpful. So keep you posted on that. I applied for the New Jersey American Water grant for the fire department, and we did receive it. We received $2,500. Unfortunately, the $2,500 will only buy 3 radios. So, but every little bit helps. And you all have seen the email today or text message from Karen Adams that I received a letter from the Pinelands from Director Chuck Horner, and they have approved the lot on Philadelphia Avenue for the park. And I'm sure Ryan will talk more about that. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Moving to the chair committee, committee chair reports. So finance redevelopment, we had a finance meeting. We're currently in negotiations with the PVA. We're sending their counter early to mid next week, so, and the counter and to meet with their legal and their shop steward to further the negotiations and hopefully come to a resolution prior to year end. Code enforcement, there's been some issues, but they're being addressed immediately, which is great, by our code enforcement. We started the year off rough, but they're continuing to move in the right direction. With that, we also discussed at the finance committee meeting that Meg, if you could re-advertise a full-time code enforcement officer. Moving forward, we want to get that back. We want to get that re-advertised and hopefully get that person hired and in place prior to year end. I think that's pretty much it with those two. Councilman Dash, anything for safety?
Nothing for safety.
Councilwoman Heist, Public Works.
Nothing.
Councilman Antonisi, Property Parks Playground and School Board.
Property Parks and Playgrounds is gonna have a meeting, I'm hoping sometime in October. I'll send out an email, just to do, the season end of the league wrap up. And try to touch base with Dave Ben from the campground, just about how this last summer went, and then looking forward to the next season. So I'll reach out to everybody via email and get some dates that work for everybody. And then, Board of Education had a meeting last week. Board of Ed is forming the school is forming a special education team. And looking for parents to be a part of it. So if there's anybody that wants to be involved in helping out with increasing special education, increasing the community involvement with special education with the schools, they are looking for community members that want to be involved. You can reach out to the school directly and then we'll get you hooked up with when the next meeting is going to be. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Wright, anything utility? Councilwoman Clark, license ordinance.
We are scheduled to have an ordinance meeting on September 25th at 6:30.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Timbers not here. Meg, anything with Jeff?
No.
Councilwoman Assey, Rotary.
I just want to reiterate, the coat drive is going on and we have a box out in the foyer. It's going on until November 1st, so it's just gently used, coats, hats, gloves. That's all I have on that. And the other thing is the Halloween parade. If anybody would like to be in the Halloween parade, all of the information is on Facebook site as well as on Egg Harbor City's website. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Galloway, sustainable.
Yeah, I have several things here. I was able to attend the Polygon Microplastics Containment pilot project at the ACUA last week. They formed a company and created these silicone, like they're like fingers almost. Excuse me. That will extract microplastics from the water that has already been treated and before it's discharged into the ocean. And it was really impressive to see these Princeton graduates. It was a graduate program. It was their theses and so forth. So it was really good. And I discussed it with our green team, and we're supporting an ordinance that would require contractors to use containment procedures to prevent microplastics from getting into the ground, into the stormwater system, and which eventually, gets out into the ocean. So if we collaborate, with our stormwater and our wastewater, we can clean up the planet a little bit. New Jersey American Water has a bottle filling station grant available. It's a simple form. I think, Jody, you have copies of that.
Yeah, actually, Brian and I were just talking about it.
Well, I checked with Key Rec. We thought Key Rec would be the best spot for it, but they don't think it's the appropriate location.
I just talked to.
So I was wondering if there's another location where we can get it, maybe here at City Hall.
Thinking maybe
Yeah,
City
right.
Hall or the senior center. or
Right
something.
where we took that.
The
little-
water fountain.
Yeah.
We were just,
Yeah,
Brian just
that would be
suggested
great.
that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Brian uses that. all-
and
he's
we
the only
could,
one that uses the water fountain.
Probably.
We can support that with getting the reusable water bottles that they can use too, with the sustainable.
Yeah.
Take
We
Upper
used to-
City.
I don't know if we have any left. Remember, we got some years ago.
Well, they're in your office if you have. them.
There is.
What else here? Anyone interested in learning about arboriculture is invited to attend the New Jersey Shade Tree Federation Conference in Atlantic City. It's October 17th and 18th. We received a small grant from the state of New Jersey to pay the fees, which are considerable. So if anybody's interested, just let me know. We're getting ready to submit our list of attendees to the state for approval. What else? We engaged our arborist recently, and he drove around town. We looked at several spots. He reviewed the 100 and 300 blocks of Liverpool Avenue and sent a report to the engineer. Where any trees that are removed were required to replace one for one. And we're also planning a full tree planting project on the 400 and 500 blocks of Cincinnati Avenue, which is barren wasteland. There's like 2 trees on the 500 block. So the arborist came up with a nice mix of trees that we're looking at installing. And the other thing that we're working on regarding the tree grant is to conduct a comprehensive tree inventory and a companion software program that'll go along with it, where the contractors and the city employees, engineers, anybody who does anything with a tree, or if we get requests from residents, can keep this inventory updated and publish work orders and so forth. So it'll be really good. And we're working to get bids on the package, the software and the inventory package. And next week, we have at least one member here of our green team. Our meeting next week will have to be rescheduled because I have to work that day. So we'll have another meeting, another date. And I think that's it.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Jody, you have anything?
I just wanted, to ask council, I think we briefly sent out an email about the National Fitness Campaign.
Yeah.
The application, if we're interested in applying for next year, is due October 1st, so if we want to have Triad apply, they did find, the Green Acres grant, they believe, will be a good grant we can use to supplement the balance. There is a 30,000 match the city would have to put up, so. Applying doesn't really lock us in, we're not absolutely like stuck doing anything, but obviously that would, be the first step is doing the application, but I just wanted council to know all the requirements, so. If it's something we want to move forward with, it is due pretty soon, so. If I want to do a motion to have.
What would the grant pay for?
It would pay for the equipment for the fitness studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, application by October 1st, what's the award date timeframe?
It would be sometime in 2025, which is kind of like, it wouldn't really be, you're applying now for the 2025 grant.
And what's the cost for trying to apply?
1750.
1750? Any thoughts, comments?
Personally, I think it's a great idea. You should apply for it.
Anyone else?
I agree. I think it's a good idea if we need it.
Anybody like to make,
I'll make that motion.
count a roll call, please?
Antonisi,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes,
Heist,
Yes.
Hesse,
Can I just ask, how much is the match again?
The minimum match is
Yeah.
30,000. The grant range from 30 to 70,000, and then the minimum match is 30. And then obviously get the grant to pay for the balance. However, the city would want to fund.
is there a location for this facility?
It's Rotary Park.
Road, where in Road?
We're at a vote right now, so can we continue with the vote?
Hesse,
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
Richie.
Yes. All right, anything else?
Went over everything else. Oh, I just also wanted to just let council know that the resolution we did at the last meeting to apply to the local finance board for our CAD waiver application. So it was a local finance board meeting that I virtually attended last week, and it was
Great. All right, thank you. Meg, you have anything?
I do not.
All right, Ryan. Busy body.
See that?
You're feeling better, man.
One planned absence and one unplanned absence.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, it was not a lot of fun. Glad to be back. So I'll just go over a couple things. If you haven't driven by, excuse me, we started reconstruction of Liverpool Avenue, the 1 in 300 blocks. That started last Thursday, I believe. So they distributed door hangers. They started the curve in 300 block on the south side. So they're kind of working back down the street. For the 400, 500 blocks Buffalo, we are that we got DOT funding for that. We completed the survey. We're doing the design now. I just walked it today with a junior staff who's doing the design. The brownfield redevelopment applications all went in. And I believe you guys had the presentation from Mr. Day. So I know that he discussed the HDSRF applications, which are grant funding to do investigations at site. And the advice I've kind of always given you guys is there's plenty of money for the investigations, but there's not a lot for the cleanup. And that's the expensive part potentially. So it sounds like he has the ability to bring a developer to the table who would help, offset those costs.
I did get another one that requested a presentation, but I haven't sent me the information if you want me to share that. with-
Yeah, via email.
Via email.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was another one just like that.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's the key is partnering with someone who has the financial ability to, lessen that burden with whatever you find. Capital landfill is never free. Even if things are ideal, it's still a lot.
Brian, I have a question on that.
Yeah, sure.
If we partner with somebody like that, do they have a right to tell us what we do with the land once it's cleaned up? Because he mentioned something about a solar field, but then he mentioned something about the credits of that solar field going to his company, not coming back to the city or the residents.
So that is
The way I
typically
understood it.
what helps, or that's what makes the projects financially viable for them. They're able to finance it up front, cover the costs, and then make it back over time. They can't dictate terms to you. I mean, it's a negotiation up front. You guys agree to, well, however you're gonna proceed, and everyone agrees to the terms, and then you move on from there. Obviously, if you do the investigation part and you find out it's, way worse than you thought, or way better, frankly, I would think you could renegotiate those terms, but, yeah, they can't just dictate to you.
Okay.
Yeah, you would move forward with the redevelopment project and partner with them. And then the brownfield designation, if the city were to get that, just opens additional funding opportunities. It raises the cap for funding. you can get, raises the percentage for funding you can get. So it would be very helpful. We did submit for two of them. One is the Gateway site, which is the Acme site, and the site across the street, and the Paul Castro site, the former gas station there. I think it's a total of like 8 lots there, and then the industrial park, the known landfill, and then some other unconfirmed landfills, all through the site. So we'll see how that comes back in.
Ryan, I have a question regarding that. As far as the solar field, if he were to get that and get the monies going back to his business,
Mhm.
do we get taxes on a solar field? How does that work?
You generally do. He would have to negotiate a tax abatement if he wanted to relieve the tax burden on the site. It's not a huge rateable, but it is a taxable site. Because it would be in theory, it would be a for-profit, power generating facility.
Okay.
So it's not a public utility, it's not, it's like a pump station where, you're not doing very much at all. It would be something, but it wouldn't be a huge.
Just the land, basically.
Yeah, well, and I mean, realistically, with a project like that, you're looking to relieve the city of the long-term burden of whatever the landfill cleanup is. To be frank, if you can get out of the landfill cleanup without owing anything.
See what else we need.
You know, it's not gonna be a big money maker, but if you can break even, you're doing really great. So, we'll see. We've done a bunch of HDSR applications for the city over the years for numerous sites. So, we're certainly familiar with the process, and we'll go with Mr. Day and see what his thoughts are. But his ability to bring in a developer is really the key to it. Someone who understands the process and is engaged in. Most of the time you talk to somebody and say, oh, we want to bring in on this landfill site, and we're going to need you to help pay for the cleanup. And they want nothing to do with it. So bringing in somebody who is informed, and, has done it before is a good first step.
And Ryan, wouldn't that serve to make those lots that we now can't sell sellable? Or no?
It depends on how the cleanup is orchestrated. If we were to delineate it and find that it's, a very thin layer that's spread out and you can excavate it and reclaim it, then yes. To build on top of a landfill is generally not financially viable. I mean, unless it's a large scale project. Something like Borgata is built on top of a landfill, but.
But I think there were some buildable sites out there that we couldn't.
There are a couple,
We couldn't
there are a couple
sell.
that are not sellable because the waste is not clearly delineated.
Okay.
So this process would at minimum identify the extents, and then even if it said, okay, well, these two are definitely not good. Maybe 3 others, we would have, clarity,
Okay.
so. So yeah, there's that. The Archery Green projects, which the mayor mentioned already, we just got a letter from finance today. Which said they will recommend it for approval at the October 11th meeting, which means it'll get voted on then, and then it gets voted on again in November. So we'll have a permit in November, but we can kind of do some level of clarity.
And also Gary and I have been working diligently to get the electric company to put in the pole
Yes, that would be
That's-
helpful.
that's needed there for light, so.
Yeah, if they could set that before we have to put in a service request, that will defer costs for the city. So I know Keith's not here, I didn't have a chance to catch up with him, but I know he was trying to solicit quotes to see where the arch itself would come in, whether we would break that out separately and then do the site as its own project, or just bid it all together. They're very different types of work, but if it's all going to be the bid threshold, I'll just bid it as one and do it as a single project. So I'll have to talk to him to see where the quotes came in then. I think that's all I had is like real active stuff at the moment. I have to follow up on the New Orleans Avenue subdivision. It is my goal to get that before the end of this year,
Thanks.
because that is driving me insane.
Can we get that in writing?
It's on record, right? We're recording it. So yeah, I will do everything in my power to make sure we have that by the end of this year, because this has been.
Did we ever, was it Pine Ridge you had to go to regarding the expansion of the Crusader stand?
Yes, so I need to meet with Mason still.
Weekend.
As you know, I've been a little jammed up.
You can-
So I have an architectural like sketch, I guess, for what you want to do with the stand. So we need to come up with like the overall site development.
Okay.
I know, from what I understand, you guys might want to get away from the permanent bathrooms in the building. I may have porta potties out there.
Well,
No, we don't wanna get rid of the bathroom. I mean, we use them because they have different functions that they use.
Alright.
But I don't use them during football season, just because, yeah, I'm the one that's gotta clean it every 10 minutes. So we get. It's just a headache.
Okay.
But during like practice, during the summer, I open them up, you know, and then, you know, I think when flag football and stuff's out there, different
So
functions.
like smaller functions.
Yeah, smaller
porta
functions.
potties.
When the school's out there, they use it for like their field days and stuff. We open up the bathrooms for them.
All right, well, then maybe, maybe we try to get a little like pad for the porta potties so that they're a little. bit
Yeah,
better
something like that,
You
you know, and,
connect them to the path, things like that.
correct. Yeah,
Okay. But yeah, I'll try to catch up in the next week or two.
yeah, that's fine.
Get
Yeah.
something on paper. and
Yeah.
Try to get. pretty
Cause I figure if we can, the fences up, the scoreboard's up, so if we can get rolling, like pretty much after school, you know, after the season gets over, it gives us that whole winter to.
Yeah, you plan it out and do it in
Exactly.
spring. and-
Exactly.
The other thing is, I know this is you or actually Jody upgrading the electric at the campground. Where are we at with that?
So we owe you a design proposal. We're trying to do as much as we can under the current grant fund for the ADA accessibility. We're trying to roll in as much as we can with that. But we still will owe you a separate proposal once we have some additional information from Lansing Electric.
Okay.
So I'll try to get that out. Bill Edwards is still the guy to go to for everything, and we requested a price from him for something in Atlantic City 3 years ago, and the project's now been done for 6 months and the light's still on.
Well, you know, Bill's retired. He was supposed to come back,
It's back as a
Part-time.
consultant, yeah.
but Gary doesn't think he's really involved as much, so.
He is. We keep, every time we ask for something, we keep getting directed to him, because we
Well,
just
that's
moved on
good.
to the second phase of that part. Well, it's
That's
good
good.
because he's now,
Bill will get it done.
it's,
He will,
he's stretched a little bit.
but he is stressed. They're all stressed.
Yes, but yeah, so we will, once I have the information we need from him, so we better understand the scope, that's when we'll get to that.
Is there anything else that we're missing that was in the processes? Anybody?
I don't know if this is Ryan or Angela with the Deer Street property.
We put it out to bid a while back, nobody bid on it. Then there were several people who expressed interest in buying it, so I asked each one to give us a notice of pricing. There was a higher price. And he said, yes, he was interested. I sent several emails, called him. Still said he was interested, haven't heard from him in 2 months. So we could either put it out to bid again, which you don't really need to do. The public can, since we bid it once, the public can just come in and give us pricing for it, and then we try again to sell
How do we get that out there?
it.
There's the paper or
We could
it's
advertise.
just something to
Yeah.
kind of bring it back up to
We
relevance.
don't have to bid it and pay for all the bidding process again, because we already did. So put it out there as a notice. That would do it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You have to go through George. But it works out fine.
We could go through George. We, in the past, you know, we've gone through Mr. Frick for sales and properties.
Are there any contiguous owners that might be interested?
No, when we did the resolution, you know, that's what the resolution's for. See if anybody's interested, see if we have any bid, you know, more than any. Not that I know.
Still listed for such?
No, it was never put in with Mr. Frick. We were always just waiting on private people to come in and try to buy it. So if you want, we could list it with Mr. Frick. You can put it
I
out
would
there
definitely
on the
recommend
general
that.
listing.
I would
and
recommend
tell
that.
us, do that. Want to do that?
I think so.
Okay.
I had to recuse myself from that, but if somebody would
So
like to
if
make.
you want to do that, we'll do the
I'll-
resolution.
Alright, so, motion by Councilman Wright and second by,
I second
Councilwoman Antonisi. So, roll call on that, please.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heights?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Abstain.
We'll send it off to Mr. Frick to see how we do. He's been very successful in the past with selling city property.
Not yet.
So,
Thank you.
Nobody has anything else for Ryan, Angela?
okay, so as you all know, we've had some trouble with the Hamilton Municipal Court in the dispensation of our code tickets. So I wrote to the Hamilton Court and I told them basically we were gonna seek court services elsewhere. And then, basically I got lots of calls from everyone, you know, all upset about it. And so we've been going back and forth and ultimately, just yesterday or today, I forget. But,
Yesterday.
yeah, okay. So the court finally agreed to give us the following, which are all the things I basically requested. The first most important thing is we're gonna get a dedicated code enforcement day. At least once a month, probably be Tuesday. And that's not just for us, it's all for the other municipalities, because everybody's complaining, but nobody asked for a dedicated day. So I told them the central court is going to implement a dedicated day. Atlantic City was implementing a dedicated code day, so now we got one too. Secondly, the financials weren't being sent to Jody on an expedited basis. So I requested they be sent once a month, so hopefully they comply. And thirdly, I asked for more personnel. So fortunately, they got on the stick and they just hired a new clerk, which is a good start. I know it's expensive, but they need folks over there. So I put all that in writing, I sent it off, and now we're good at least for 2025, and our contract is for 10 years. The first 2 years were embedded. We had to stay with them for 2 years. That was up, and so that's why I looked into the next year, and so next year we could revisit it. We could decide if it's productive, if it's going well. If not, we'll try again. I also looked at Galloway and Hamilton, both of which are now with the central court. So there wasn't much I could do with them. And the other option was the central court, which was a lot more expensive. So for now, I think this will work out well for the city, and I hope that the code enforcement day is productive. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the first resolution to approve the accumulated absences for Officer Matthew Rex in the amount of $849.94. Any questions or comments? May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark? Yes. Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Resolution approving the agreement with Egg Harbor City Board of Education for school resource officer. Any questions or comments?
Yes.
Sure.
How does this work?
It's just a renewal. There's no change or anything like that. We've been providing. He's technically an employee of the police department, but the school reimburses us for him.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions? May I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Roll call.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Resolution, chapter 159, local recreation improvement grant, $78,000. I believe this is for the reconstruction of the tennis and pickleball courts, correct?
Yep.
Any questions, comments? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark? Yes. Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Number 19 is a resolution, chapter 159, NJDPU, energy implementation grant for $128,000. Any questions or comments?
You have a question?
Sure.
Did we get a contract from them?
Not yet, no, but I just want to be ready. We got the award, like, we know the
Yeah.
amount, so at least this way we don't be in the budget and be able to.
Okay.
Any other questions? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark? Yes. Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. 20 resolution to authorize a refund of a duplicate payment of a plumbing permit fee of $182. Any questions? May I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark? Yes. Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. 21 is a resolution for a refund of overpayment duplicate property third quarter taxes about $600. Any questions? I have a motion.
Make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark? Yes. Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Number 22 is a resolution to renew the liquor licenses July 1st, 24 through June 30th of 25. Canary retail consumption for the Wrangler license and TA liquor license LLC. Any questions or comments?
Yes.
Sure.
The Wrangler, is that old Catherine's?
Yes.
And TA is,
327 Cincinnati Avenue. What is listed?
It's a
under.
pocket license, I believe it, without looking, I think it used to be the license from
Lobbies?
Lubbies?
No,
These,
I think it was the original one that was at the Venice.
All right, the EDA came up with a new program. They have they're offering up to $100,000. 50% of the purchase price for liquor licenses for small businesses to buy liquor licenses.
Right,
Inactive ones.
right.
So I'll send you the
We
information.
have the information, the city attorney looked into it and we're still waiting for guidance from the attorney general.
It's supposed to, the applications are on a rolling basis and it'll start in 2025.
Yeah.
So, but I think you have to be in business for a year before you can apply. But
These two licenses. We looked it up, they couldn't act on any of them because they're in 1239 rulings that were already approved by the state to get grant them the time. Wasn't that what that until that expires?
Right. The Attorney General's office is still looking at the legislation. Because they were unaware of it when it got passed. And so they said, hold tight, as soon as they looked into it, that was what, February, so we're still holding tight. And hopefully by the end of the year, we'll get some guidance as to what we can.
yeah, it'd be great to,
Yeah,
let people know that that exists because it might encourage some development.
It would, yeah, I agree.
all right, any other questions? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, moving on to 23, anybody like to make a all right. Roll call,
This is the list, right?
yes.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heiss?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Richie?
Yes, Mayor, the floor is for your, any last comments?
Just to let you know that tomorrow is the Fall Festival at Cedar Creek. It's $5. The information is available on the official Egg Harbor City Facebook page, and the varsity day is Saturday. Football starts at 1 o'clock, and you should try to scan and get your pass to get in there. I think they're still doing that.
So
Everything's online. There's no more at the gate.
Yeah. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Heiss,
I have nothing.
Councilman Dash,
I'd like to just congratulate Captain Zach Farner for his promotion, our chief, for her exemplary work and the officers as well.
Councilman Wright.
Just let everybody know, Crusaders games have officially been on the road. Taxi is 101, Pee Wee's 101, JV's 101, varsity is 2-0.
Correction, Pee Wee's 1-0-1.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Low one.
1-0-1.
Yeah. We take on Egg Harbor Township this Saturday in Egg Harbor Township. Hopefully, come out a little victorious. I mean, not to talk bad about Egg Harbor Township, but people should definitely come out with a W.
We will.
And Davy also, Davy, they played them in the Jamboree, they held, varsity's gonna be the game of the night. Both undefeated. Both got talent on both sides, so it's gonna be a heck of a game. You guys wanna come see a good youth football game Saturday night, might be at Egg Harbor Township, so other than that, that's pretty much it. We're back home next week because.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Antonisi.
Some of you know, but every year I go to the Susan B. Komen Walk and I work the medical tents for them. This year, the medical staff was taken aside and we were asked to bring back to our communities, our friends, our jobs, and any platform they have to remind people that breast cancer is more than the color pink. It's more than awareness. It's making sure that you're going to get tested. It's making sure that you're getting those resources that you need. It's 1 in 8 for women, a little less for men, but everybody in this room knows somebody, loves somebody, is somebody that has breast cancer. So I just wanted to take a moment to use my platform to remind everybody to go get their tests, to remind their loved ones to go get their tests. And if you need help with resources, please let me know. I am connected with Susan B. Komen and also with Atlantic Medical Imaging, and I can help you, whether you're insured or uninsured, find some place to go get the testing that you need to make sure that you are catching it as early as possible, because early detection is key.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hesse.
I just wanted to say that there will be a drawing for the Philadelphia Avenue palm trees. It will be held on September 24th, right here at 1 o'clock. The palms will be dropped off on the 25th or the 26th. There'll be a phone call made prior. And we'll be putting the fall mums in, and Michael will be, he's our guy. He takes out all the planters, takes everything out of there, and he's like really good at it. So thank you, Michael, for doing that. And that's all I have to say. Oh, and the drawing, there's a box over at the clerk's office. And there's a little form to fill out with your name, your phone number, and your address. So that way we will be able to call you and be able to drop them off. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Clark?
The Crusaders will be having their third annual trunk or treat fundraiser on Saturday, October 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Crusaders Field. You can get in contact with me if you'd like to set up a trunk. We're always looking and we're always growing. I think last year we had about 250 children show up, which was triple what we had our first year. So we're always looking for more trunks. We're looking for community outreach and anyone to come in. Everyone is invited. And you can either email us at meangreencrusaders@gmail.com or excuse me, reach out to us through our Mean Green Booster Club on Facebook or Crusaders Facebook page.
Thank you. Councilwoman Galloway?
Just remind anybody who has any events going on in the month of October to please get me the information for the newsletter. And I wanted to congratulate Zach Perna on his promotion. It's a big one. And the members, thank you to the members of the police department who are out there protecting us every day and doing heroic things lately. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Before I turn it over to the public, I just want to say something. So life comes at us really fast. And we really need to cherish the moments that we have on a daily basis. Last week, there was a devastating loss to the youth football community in our neighboring towns. If you guys didn't know, football coach lost his life and 8-year-old football player lost his life. All I can say is, as a father, as a first responder, that's something I never want to experience. I can only imagine the emotions running through the individuals that had to experience. So just take it day by day, slow your lives down. There's nothing that important in life to have to rush that much for something that tragic to happen. Seriously. And I'm saying that more so as a father than anything else. So just keep those individuals in your prayers because it really was devastating throughout the football community, within the communities. So to end on a good note, congratulations to old Cappy Perna. Well deserved. To the guys on males and females on the police department, you guys do a hell of a job. So with that, we'll turn it over to the public. Anybody here from the public have any comments?
My name is Mark Emmer. I have a law office at 256 Philadelphia. I'm just in a corporate now, but from here most of my life, I've been forever. I've been asked to appear today on behalf of Ray Barbieri, who is the president of the Cape Atlantic Model Railroad Club. They're looking to relocate one of their model train exhibits in Egg Harbor City. And he would have been here today if you in the letter of life was not, so he asked if I would do this on his behalf. What he wrote is here, Egg Harbor City Council members. My name is Ray Barbieri. I am a retired 30-year veteran of the Summers Point Police Department. I am the president of the Cape Atlantic Model Railroad Club. I was hoping to meet everyone in person so I could introduce myself and give you a short presentation about our model train exhibit. However, a prior engagement has prevented me from doing that, so I'm hoping this letter will suffice in my absence. Our model train club has been in existence for over 13 years. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization and currently do not have a permanent year-round home. Our club is hoping the council members, small business owners, and citizens of Egg Harbor City will welcome a new, exciting, interactive model train display for their community for all to enjoy. We are currently looking to lease a commercial property located at 244 Philadelphia Avenue. For those of you who don't know, that was Linda Gott's office, rented at Linda's office before. We truly believe our club can bring value to your downtown area by bringing visitors from the tri-state area to your community. Our club is community oriented and work closely with our military veterans as an outreach program as well as with the local ARC organizations. And our organization is in Summers Point. We work closely with the Summers Point Police Department, the Summers Point PAL program, Faith Fest celebration, Summers Point School District, where we organize field trips for their students. Our club also participated in collecting toys at Christmas time for the Wyatt Hopkins Blue Christmas Toys. Over the past 3 years, we have operated an extremely popular secondary training model display at the Bay County Park and Zoo. As of today's date, we have drawn over 80,000 visitors during that time. Over the same period of time, our club has operated an additional large holiday model train display at McNaughton's Garden Center in Summers Point, where we attracted 10,000 visitors with literally no publicity other than our own Facebook page. The exhibit has 10 train runs, the subway station, 3 trolleys, excuse me, 47 interactive push buttons. We also have a scavenger hunt for our visitors to complete, which drew over 900 participants the last 2 sessions. Both exhibits are free to the public, and the only revenue generated for the club is from private donations. Unfortunately, McNaughton's closed their doors at the end of July 2024, and the club has no location to entertain the public with our large 16 by 25 foot interactive model train display. Our club consists of 33 members, consisting of retired school teachers, military veterans, police officers, union electricians and carpenters, as well as retired railroad workers. We would be open 3 to 4 days a week for 4 to 5 hours per day during the holiday season, starting Halloween week through New Year's. During our hours of operation, 3 to 4 club members would be on location at all times. We expect no more than 18 visitors at one time. During the off season, we would open the display sparingly to special run days based on the school district, the city's special events schedule. In conclusion, our club can guarantee these things to the community of Egg Harbor City. Our members will have outstanding community relations with your citizens, local charities, small businesses, and the school district. And your community would monetarily benefit significantly during the holiday season based on the foot traffic our display would generate. I appreciate your time and consideration in this matter, and hope I address necessary issues regarding our display. I met with these guys and saw the operation they have in Richland. I mean, it's pretty impressive. They're gonna lease the building, so even though they're a 501c3, the city doesn't lose a tax base. The city still, the building's still taxable and still pays taxes. I personally don't see any downside to it. They draw a lot of people that normally wouldn't be here, and they're gonna they work with the schools, they work with all of the youth organizations. The thing that I would ask, that I'm asking as a businessman here, is that they're a 501c3, they have very little money, they do everything off of donations. They came in for some applications to the city already, and I think it's like $200-300 the city's charging them already in fees to come in. I don't know if the city can waive them a little bit of fees. $300 to the city is nothing. $300 to a nonprofit makes a giant difference. It would be a welcoming way for the city to say, welcome to Egg Harbor City. That's my.
We can't waive the state fees. I'm sure Meg will talk more about
The
that,
only
right?
one we waived is the zoning. I don't know if there's zoning fee. I saw them talking to see.
One was $125, one was $70.
Because that's our fee. The other fees are the construction.
Right,
and
right. You
those-
could waive your fees, right?
We have in the past. I mean,
Yes.
that's up to council.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be a nice.
I mean, first, I think we need to see what the fees are.
Well, they would.
Well, he wants to be in by October.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming tomorrow to pay.
I know, I mean. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
just asking.
Well, they could come in and they could pay the fees, and then we could look at the fees, and then at the next
Or it's
meeting,
reimbursed.
yeah, we can reimburse if necessary.
Okay, pretty good.
But I don't know if the construction officer reviewed the fees, you know.
I think once you see the operation, each one, and what they said to me, what I thought was real cool was, Ray said, I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna walk the street and meet all the business people and tell them if they wanna give us their business cards, if they want to give us menus, they're going to set up an area in there to display everything from all of the business people in the city. So when new people come in to visit, they can see, here's a place I can eat, here's a place I can go do this, here's a place I can get. Again, I don't see no downside. So he asked me to bring that to you. I'm sure when he gets a chance, he'll come here personally and meet with you guys. But
Which building was it?
Pardon?
Lindsay Golf. Thing was it?
Where Linda Golf was.
Years and years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Dornbach.
Yes, it was. Oh, okay.
It was Dornbach's.
Who owns that?
Who owns it, Tom?
Tom Oddie.
I've actually seen their display numerous times of songs. It's an awesome display.
And it's interactive with the
Yeah.
kids.
I don't have any issue with us waiving the fees. And if the city can't waive the fees, I'm sure a bunch of us would be happy to kick in and help with it.
Thank you very much on their behalf.
Yep.
Thanks, Mark. Anybody else from the public? Once, going twice.
Make motion.
Second,
Second.
favor? Any nays? No, all right, everyone have a good night.
Jody,